Hello there, and thank you for tuning in to Life Insurance News You Can Use. Today on this segment, I was thinking about doing, my segment today is going to be titled, Can You Afford to Wait? So, I was trying to think of how I'm going to approach this. I don't want to come across as though I'm ranting or venting, but I think I will be. So, buckle up. Um, I'm trying not to be that mothering type and say, you should get this, you better get this. But I get so passionate about this. And it baffles me that people will put this off and wait and wait and wait. And like we think we're invincible. We don't, we live in 2022. I don't care whether it's 2020, 2021, 2022. Life happens. Anybody who's born, the one thing we can count on is 100% of us don't know the day that we're going to pass away. And so, if this is something that we don't know when it's going to happen, how can we afford to sit back and wait? You don't know if, like, tonight you're going to fall asleep and not wake up. You don't know if tomorrow you're going to wake up, have a heart attack. And I don't mean to scare people, but this is reality. This is life. And how hard is it to get a life insurance policy put in place? And even though there's benefits that can protect me, can protect you, the bottom line is this actually, when that time comes for you, it's going to affect not just you, but the people that you care about, whether your sisters, your children, your spouse, your whoever it might be. It's going to affect them. And if you don't take the step to do something to protect them, then they're going to have to go through all of this, not only the trauma of losing you, you're not there. They're going through the grieving, and that grieving takes years. Believe me, been there, done that. But on top of that is the financial. Now, unless we're rich or something, if you have to come up with a few $1,000s within a matter of days, it's probably going to affect your budget. Now, there are a few cases that I will admit that I've seen where I've told people, no, you actually probably don't need any coverage or don't need any more coverage. But that is not the majority of us. And you guys know who you are. You know who I'm talking to. Now, I'm going to share a few things with you. This week, I spoke with two customers. And of course, I'm not saying any names because I never would do that. Um, but I'm sure whatever I talk about, I'm sure either you can relate, you can relate to your neighbor or a family member, somebody you know. You can say, that might be my cousin, uncle, sister, friend, niece, nephew, grandchildren, whoever. It's going to be somebody you can relate to. Okay. So let me share about two of my clients. So one is a gentleman and super nice. Let me say this. My clients, super nice, love them to life. Okay. Um, One of them I talk, and we can talk for like hours, minutes, everything. He's super cool. I feel like he's family, and maybe that's why I get so passionate because I genuinely care about my clients. And I know if they don't put something in place, I know the consequences. So I'm talking to this gentleman. He's a little bit older. I won't say old, but he's a little bit older, has no coverage in place. And we're talking, and I so appreciate him because he took the time to open up and share with me and say, you know, I don't have anything in place. If something happened to me, I don't want to leave my family out in the cold. But he won't make a move. So, and not that he wouldn't, he's saying that he will. He's got a birthday right around the corner. And he's saying he opened up and shared with me about other bills that he's paying, money that is going down the drain for years. And he's continuing to pay that bill. And I'm not going to say what bill it is, but it's a storage bill. Okay, I said it. So he's paying this bill. I said, Mr. So and so, do you ever plan on moving and taking all that stuff out of storage. Nope. But I guess because he's got an attachment to it, it's his belongings. I understand that. Sell them, get rid of them, downsize, do something. You're paying hundreds of dollars every month to store items that you barely look at, you don't use, and you probably won't ever need. But you're paying hundreds of dollars, and you've been doing that for years. Now you could get rid of all of that stuff or get rid of most of it and then take a portion of that money and get amazing life insurance. And that way your family member who you I know you care about, because you wouldn't be calling me if you didn't, you can get some coverage, and that way you don't have to worry about what is your family member going to do with all that stuff in storage. When the time comes, you think they're going to do a garage sale then? No, it's going to take them months to get rid of that stuff. And do you think in their mindset, while they're grieving, they're going to want to go through and sell all of that stuff? No, they're going to just like care less. And guess what's going to happen? That stuff is going to be probably sold at an auction and the family gets nothing. Why? Because they're not going to want to take on that extra bill. Okay. So I don't understand why I get the response, I want to talk to my sister about it. Ugh, I hate that. Like, do you need permission to talk to your sister to ask her, can you protect her? I don't think so. Okay, let me breathe. Woosah. Okay, so next client I talked to, again, super wonderful lady, but get this, she's 85 years old. In case you didn't hear it, she's 85 years old. This lady is days away from no company, 99% of the companies not being willing to insure her. Now, I can't tell you any off the top of my head that will insure somebody after 85. I know there's a couple out there, maybe one or two. I don't know if I would trust them. I'm sure they're probably good companies, and I'm going to say that because I'm the eternal optimist. But I would want some choices. So you know what? I would get coverage while I'm still in the range that many companies may want to insure me. Now, 85, you are pushing it. You're like hanging off a cliff by your toenail, hoping that gravity doesn't pull you down. You're 85. Like most of these companies, they don't want to insure people after 75, 80. You're 85. And guess the response that I get? She has nothing in place, but the response that I get is, oh, let me talk to my niece. Again, are we asking for permission to your niece who can't even afford to fix her broken phone? Are we asking permission from your niece so that you can protect her? So that you don't put her further in debt? That doesn't make sense to me. Makes absolutely no sense to me. Why not get approved, get coverage in place, and first of all, see if you get approved. You're 85. Who knows what's going to be found? The underwriters still have to look at your stuff and make sure that they approve you for this plan. So at least do the legwork. Why do you need to put one more thing on your niece's plate? I don't understand that. I just, like, when I was raising my children, I didn't need their permission to protect them. I didn't need their permission to discipline them. I didn't need their permission to do any of that. You love them, protect them. You don't need the permission of your loved ones to protect them. Woosah again. Okay. Okay. I tell you, I get a little passionate about these things because I hear from so many clients that, oh, so and so in my family passed away and they didn't have any coverage and I'm still paying for their bill. And guess what? They don't broadcast that. You know why? Because it's embarrassing to admit that a family member was irresponsible. Did I really say that? I did. I said it out loud. Irresponsible and didn't put something in place. And now that family member who's there, who's still living, the surviving family member, they're dealing with their own health, their own budget, their own bills, And now, because out of love, obligation, and all of that, they're having to be forced to pay for something that you could have taken care of. So these funeral homes are not in business. They're not in business to not make money. If you can't come up with the money, they will put that person on ice for weeks and months. Like, that's not embarrassing. Are you kidding me? I can't. I'm just at a loss of words. Maybe it doesn't seem like it, but I kind of am. And the thing is, people think that these plans are so expensive. Like, it doesn't have to be. You don't need a whole Versace service. Like, I actually worked at the funeral home when Versace passed away. Buku amount of money was spent. But you don't need to do that. You can do something simple, decent, and make sure your family, make it as smooth as possible for your family. Okay. Now, I will tell you that every now and then, I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody needs to have coverage, everybody has to. Some people may actually have a decent amount of savings set aside. And I will say, even with that, God forbid, one medical condition could drain, deplete those savings. So I wouldn't even trust that. I would set aside a little bit of money and make sure that I have a policy that's a backup. And maybe that's just me. I like to have a backup for a backup. I do. But, or maybe you're like, this evening I watched the Michael Jackson, I don't know if I should call it a documentary, but where they talked about who's actually responsible for his death. Anyway, I won't even get into that. But what I did see is Michael Jackson might be a person that maybe didn't need insurance. That's what I was thinking. But then I thought to myself, with the liability that he had to take care of Never Neverland, his children, to keep them in the lifestyle they're used to, all the things that go into maintaining his estate, because his children aren't going to go from private school, living in a mansion, to now going to public school and living in a regular neighborhood. They're not. So even he needed life insurance. His business, I promise you, that company, AEG or whoever, whatever their name was, I promise you, they had buku amounts of coverage on him. That God forbid if he passed away, everything, whatever contract or advances that they paid to him, I promise you it was paid. So even somebody as big as Michael Jackson, who had millions and millions of dollars, I promise you there was life insurance on him to cover his liabilities. So his family didn't have to deal with that. Breathe again. Now, I even Googled the song, his last song, and this was super sad for me. The song was called Earth Song. And I was reading the lyrics and then I watched the video, and like, it truly touched my heart because I'm looking at him saying everything that he was singing about, and I could hear the passion in his voice. Everything that he was singing about is what we're dealing with today. Animals being slaughtered, trees being burned and torn down, um, people passing away from diseases and all kind of things. I'm watching all of this and I'm like, all of this is like unpredictable, and not saying that the world is a terrible place. I honestly believe our earth is amazing, but there are a lot of things happening that are out of our control. So when I listen to the song, it's like, would I want to go out into the world or even stay at home because anything could happen anywhere? Would I want to, with all the things that could happen and will happen one day, do I want to put myself at risk and not know that my family is going to be okay? And I mean, granted, I can't stop myself from dying, but I can make sure that when that time comes, the people that I say I love, to the best of my ability, I'm going to have something in place. Maybe I don't get a policy that makes them rich, but maybe I get something that can give them peace and closure when that time comes. So I think that is it for my PSA, my little segment today. Life insurance news that you can use. I've done my rant. I've gotten it all off my chest so my blood pressure can stay nice and in peace and in order. I am going to plead with everyone. I don't care where you get your coverage from. If you're comfortable with me, reach out to me. We'll review what you have. I'll go over some options with you. But if not, get your coverage from somewhere. Do not delay this because if you wait, and usually when people think about life insurance, is either somebody passed away, hopefully it's not you, or you went to the doctor and the doctor gave you some scare. Oh my gosh, you just had a stroke. You've got to take medication for high blood pressure. Whatever it is, that's when you start thinking about it when your health is changing. Or you think about it when someone like me brings it to your attention and you happen to watch my video, maybe by accident. But there's very few times that people really think about it. How hard is it to pick up the phone, make a phone call, and say, you know what? Let me take action. Not let me think about it. We cannot afford to wait. If one life event happens that changes your health, guess what? Now you have no choice but to wait because guess what you're going to get? You're going to get a plan that you have to wait at least 2 years for it to fully go into effect. And then you're going to be saying, why can't I get immediate coverage? You want to know a secret? Because you waited. So again, I will say we cannot afford to wait. Get something small in place, and then, if you choose to, wait until your budget changes and then get more coverage. But get something in place. Okay? All right. I'm done ranting. I'm done. My apologies. No, I'm snatching my apologies back. I don't apologize for being transparent, for being passionate, and for being truthful. Get something in place. If you genuinely care about your family, get it in place. I still love y'all, but I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm going to be that family member that you probably won't call because they'll tell you what you need to do. But it all comes from love. So that's it. You guys love each other, love your family, take care of each other.